Educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the Movement Hour right here on 93.7, excuse me, 93.7 The Ticket, Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Ben Droz, and I'm joined here by Robert Coleman.
How's it going, everyone?
Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It's been a good week. How's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. Not as busy as other weeks, which surprised me a little bit, but
it's tax week.
Yeah. It'll probably be next week. Next week's going to hit me like a bus.
That's good.
Just want to shout out this show sponsor, Coleman Construction, where they build your dreams through custom home building. Learn more at colemanconstruction.com or call 402-643-5654 today. Also, if you want to text into the show, ask questions before we get in here. Text line is open, 402-464-5685. But with that, we're going to get things going here. So, Rob.
Yes, sir.
Before we really jump in, we were talking about Premier League, and I know you.
Oh my gosh,
really,
yes.
You were talking about Arsenal.
Huge fan.
Oh man, I don't watch too much soccer, but
that needs to be the team of Lincoln, if you ask me. I know there's a few bars in here that have a few teams, but which is funny because I do actually have a very unpopular sports take that I was going to get into today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We can save it for later.
We can save it, but it's definitely gonna have to do with soccer.
So first segment, kind of want to touch on, the good measure of a great trainer.
Yes.
So do you feel like clients of yours are actually getting the results they came in to get?
Right. So, well, real quick, I'll start with a quick little story on this. Now, and by the way, as the show goes on, I actually do have a few people going to come in here pretty soon to chat about this specifically. But today we just got me. I was actually asked this question: how to be a great personal trainer when I was getting interviewed in New York when I had my first in New York City personal training job. So one of the questions they asked me was what makes a personal trainer great? Right. So my answer actually at the time is the same as it is right now. It's kind of two answers. It was conviction, right? You have to believe that this is one of the greatest things that you can do for your body, and that your clients are getting that as well. So that is always what's going to drive that. But what's crazy, I don't know how they came up with these questions in these interviews that I was doing. But another question they asked me was they quoted Albert Einstein.
Ooh.
Right. So they're like, hey, Albert Einstein once said that I am not smarter than any. I'm really paraphrasing this, but they're like, I'm not smarter than anyone. I'm just more passionately curious. Right.
I think that's like almost how the quote goes.
Pretty close. Yeah. So we'll take it. So, but that would be the other answer, right? Passionate curiosity. Like that is what makes a trainer great is, without that curiosity, without that passion and conviction, why would you bother growing in the field? Right. And then to get back to your question, our clients actually getting the results they came in for, I would say another good measure of what a great personal trainer is results, right? So that's where that question comes from is our clients actually getting the results they came in to get. Now, I think with most clients, they just want to, some of them just want to have fun. Like they just don't really have great goals, but most of them actually do have those weight loss goals that you're looking for. And are they getting the goals they actually came in to get? Really leads into like this personal training powerlifting story that I have. So this is going to go back to New York here with another personal training story actually, but I worked out of a gym that had a lot of bodybuilders and powerlifters. So one client comes in and they just want to lose weight. They said, the guy's name was Dorian actually. I would like to lose body fat. I would like to improve mobility. And almost every one of his clients eventually became powerlifters.
Wow.
Right. So I don't know if you've ever experienced that world, but it is not exactly the same thing. You're going to get the perks of some body fat loss if you if you're powerlifting, but that's not typically what their original goal was. So are they actually getting the goals they came in for originally?
Yeah.
That's what's going to lead to retention. Right. If you change them into a power lifter versus their goal, that can work for a time, but it might not work for years. And the goal is to find those lifers, the people who are going to be with you for years. Right. Not because they need you, because they want you. So, but yeah, that's, I don't know if you've ever spent any time doing that, but
man, I am not really a gym guy. So I feel like if I will work out, I like cardio more.
Hey, I got a place for you. You can come in. We got plenty of treadmills. But yeah, that's we'll have to get you in there someday. It'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe. So, going on to seeing the results. How do your clients see results, or if they do, like, how do you really measure whether they're improving or maybe not moving in the direction you want them to?
Well, I mean, I like to say the clients have their goal is never going to be exercise more or work harder. They actually want some tangible results. They want to see something, whether it's a body fat percentage decrease, maybe it's just weight on the scale. I don't usually focus on that as much because obviously the scale doesn't know the difference between muscle and it doesn't know the difference between body fat. So, but we like to use those analytics in resistance training. So, for example, if your program is to lose body fat, then we're actually going to have a body fat percentage calculator. We actually use an in-body scan. Have you ever been on an in-body? You know what that is?
No.
It's really cool. It actually measures your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, and your water weight, just everything.
Oh, really?
But what's cool about it is it'll do it on a limb per limb basis. So like it'll tell you the difference between your right arm and your left arm.
Really?
Yeah, and your legs and your trunk. So it's actually it's a lot of fun just because every single time you re-step on that thing, it has the cloud, right? I don't know what the cloud is, but it's got it. So, and then, like, you can retest all of your past stats. You're going to see what you did in November all the way. If you test again in March, it'll just keep track. And then you do it again in July, it'll give you all 3 data points, right? So, but your prescription, your actual personal training prescription, or I guess workout program should be geared towards their specific goals, right? Not towards, now I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm going to make you a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it comes, the results, it's multifaceted. You can see results, but if it wasn't the one you came in for originally, it doesn't always lead to retention.
No, I can definitely see that. When you was talking about the like new technology with the body fat, I just remember it was like the one where like it would like to like clip onto your arm.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
the
I'm talking-
calipers.
Yeah, like those, but weren't those like super inaccurate or something? I don't even know.
No, not if you do it right. What makes those inaccurate is if, let's say, I did it and then another personal trainer did it another time, and they might use because there's a ton of skin fold sites, right? So
Yeah.
like if you're not doing it consistently the same way, that's when the inaccuracy comes along. But
Okay.
if I did it the same person, I use the same skin fold sites. You can do 3, 4, 7 skin fold sites, but nowadays people are touchy about getting touched, so
Yeah.
we don't really use those anymore.
I know that's just like that was always the first thing that came because that's just what I remember.
That's how I learned to do body fat calculations, was with the calipers, but that was in 2010.
yeah.
So
It's been a while.
yeah, so we don't have to use those anymore. We got the electricity.
So through your program, a lot of concern, with trying to go to personal trainer is it costs money,
Yeah.
obviously. So can you kind of go through prices and like how like affordable things they can do through you?
Right. Well, I mean, so that would actually be another one of the measures of retention, right? So compatibility, can they afford it, and do they like you, right?
Mhm.
So let's face it. I mean, we are selling a high value service that some people can't afford. So the solution to that, the solution that we tried coming up with, was creating a group personal training solution. So, I mean, real quick, if I were to go through like the like 5 categories that I typically look at, it's results, it's fame, it's compatibility, it's consistency, and it's referrals, right? So compatibility right now is the question you asked me on, would certainly be there's a cost involved. So
Mhm.
hopefully people are able to do the group personal training if they want to still get that personal training experience. A lot of people think that means you need to bring in a friend. I need to have people with me to come into this, but we provide the friends. We got them. So we have plenty of people that would love to
Perks.
join you. Yes. That's one of the benefits of going into the gym. You'll meet people, but also we have specific personal training times for group training that you can come in, and we do cap it because it has to be a small group, and it is still personal training. We cap it at 6 people, by the way. So you could theoretically go in there at noon on a Wednesday, right, and be by yourself or be with 4 other people. Just depends. And everyone has their own program.
Do you guys do a lot of like early morning stuff with some of those groups, or is that usually individual?
We do.
Okay.
6:30 a.m. is
There it is.
Yeah.
I know people that like to work out. A lot of people are early morning. Like
I'm not that way. I can't
Really?
do it. I'm a middayer. If I'm in there in the morning, I'm gonna drink way more caffeine than I should have that early in the day.
Yeah.
And then and I go to bed too late too. So I'm a night owl.
That same.
Yeah.
If I can get to bed before 1 a.m., I'm doing good.
There was this book written by Robin Sharma. It's called The 5 a.m. Club. You ever heard of it?
No.
Yeah. So he has this, the world changers. They're waking up at 5 a.m. and they're they're the ones like, man, making me feel a little insignificant here. But I also watched this sleep expert, I guess. So like your circadian rhythm. Now this is the claim that he makes, and I just trust him. He's the sleep expert, right? But he's like, yeah, it's actually genetically in you, right? So like some people are more naturally morning people, some people are more naturally night people. So I'm using his advice, and I'm just not trying to fight it. I'm just gonna stay a night owl.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go back to early civilization for humans, it wasn't a smart idea if everyone was asleep at the same time. Because what if you get attacked? You need someone awake.
I never thought of that, but that makes sense.
I've read that somewhere. So it's like
it's got to be real.
It's like you always wanted someone awake, so you have the night owls and you have the early morning people. So
gotta watch out for them saber tooth.
Yeah, I mean maybe not as much today, but
yeah,
back in the day, man. Yeah, how important, real quick, how important do you feel like getting enough sleep is?
It's massive.
With being able to see those results.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting enough sleep, then you're certainly not performing as well as you could in the gym, right? So that's massive. Yeah, exercise, sleep, nutrition, those are like the big 3 right there. But sleep is massive. So it's definitely something that every single time I do an initial analysis with clients or potential clients, I'll ask them, how's your sleep?
Yeah.
They'll tell me, I have not been seeing goals for however many years, however many months, right? I'm like, okay, how's your sleep? I will always ask that question. How's your hydration? What are you actually doing in the gym? So all those questions matter. Sleep is massive.
So when clients come in, do you feel like they're getting the same great experience every single time they walk in the door? Or do you feel like, you know, every day is kind of different? What do you see for
Every
that?
day is different, but consistently a great experience.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, the leading to the consistency side of things, right? So, I hate using this example, but it's just the first one that's coming into my mind. Have you ever been to a Chipotle in a different city?
Not a big Chipotle guy, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I mean, the experience is pretty much the same,
Yeah.
right? I can go to one in Lincoln, I can go to one in New York, right? And it's going to be pretty much the same experience. So it's the same. Whatever your level of quality experience is, it is the same, right? So that's what I mean by consistency. You should have the same quality of experience every single time. That doesn't mean it's always going to be the exact same thing. Some days you might focus on more resistance training. Some days you might be doing more lactic tolerance, right? So it just depends on what exactly you're searching for. But yeah, are they getting the same great experience every single time? So what we have to do is we have to have systems in place. So the programming systems, for example, like I brought up Level Method last time. Level Method has a ton of different strategies for programming, but I would say some days, on Tuesdays, for example, they might focus more on like a clean progression, right? And then the next day, you're probably going to be focusing on, say, rowing. I don't know if you've ever been on a rower, but you said you like cardio, so rowing's a pretty good time.
Bro, I know that's hard work. My dad we have a canoe, but hasn't been in the water in a minute.
Yeah, hey, that works. That's
I mean, yeah,
exercise.
you can. I mean, you have to row in that.
Pull it out on the lake. Yeah, I used to. Gosh, I have a canoe story. I was in Vermont, and it would have been for Christmas with like a whole family reunion one time. So we stayed in this like massive Airbnb where there's like 10 bedrooms, right? And we actually ended up getting. Have you ever heard? That's cold up there, by the way, right? So and. If my brother-in-law Brian's ever listening to this, he's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. And my brother actually, Russell, he was there too. We got in these canoes, or I guess they were kayaks.
Kayaks canoe, yeah.
Yes, there it was. So it happened to be just the most random weather. It was 60 degrees for one day. It was freezing the day before, freezing the day after, and it was 60 degrees on one day.
So like Nebraska weather.
I don't know how, but it happened. This is real. So, yeah. We all right, let's get on a kayak, right? And it was like really foggy. It was kind of eerie. It was crazy. But what's crazy is my brother-in-law was behind me on this kayak, and I was doing most of the rowing. So I'm gonna call him out on air here. But the back of my thing actually like came completely off. So like I didn't have a backrest. You rely on those backrests when you're rowing with yeah. So I was like, all right, Brian, stick your foot in my back, right? So we were actually we were rowing in the 60-degree weather in the middle of late December. It was like after Christmas, right before New Year's, right? So when it should have been like extremely freezing, we're like dodging the ice, and I'm going through on this rower. But anyways, the rowing exercises are massive. So in the wild, these workouts actually are pretty good for you. So they'll come in handy eventually.
The back came off. How was that even like?
It was a bad kayak. I just happened to be the one. Maybe I just rowed too hard. I don't know.
I didn't know there was good and bad kayaks. I just thought all kayaks were built the same.
I mean, I guess they're built the same, but not with the same quality, I suppose.
I guess.
You want to talk about a consistent experience? That was
not
one.
Not one. That was not one.
Yeah.
Getting back on track. So do you feel like clients are referring their friends and giving you a good work? Because word of mouth is a big deal.
Yeah.
In a gym like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's massive too. So I have one other criteria that I've mentioned before when people say, how do you know if you're a great trainer? And a really good answer to that is, are your clients referring others? So if they're referring people, then obviously you did something well with them. Nobody wants to refer a friend to a thing they don't think they're going to like. So what's also nice about that is when you want to do with retention, anybody who's referring, they're going to be they're going to want to do everything that they can to make sure that their friend is getting a good experience. It's almost like a mini little helper in the gym, really, because you're actually having a client help cultivate that good experience that all people want when they join a new thing, especially if they're not used to personal training. And then obviously the last one I had mentioned was fame. right?
Yeah.
So I say, like, do your clients see results and do others? And I think those two kind of go well together. If you do see the results, obviously you're going to want to refer. If the others see those too, they'll be more likely to take you up on that referral. So, but yeah, it's really hard, and this is a big thing too. And I'm actually gonna one of these weeks come on here and do a segment on this topic. But it's really difficult to notice the progress in the middle of a journey. So we have to celebrate milestones. In other words, like, how do you pick yourself up if just mentally you're not in it that day?
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be, I'll save that for another time, but it is definitely something that is valuable in maintaining a consistency. And so like little progress goals, for example, let's say you're not seeing the results on the scale that you want to see, but maybe we did an analysis on squatting. Maybe it was distance, maybe it was weight, and you're actually seeing that you are progressing somewhere. We need to find the milestone, and that's what really leads to those results and others seeing those results, you seeing them from yourself, right? The more types of results you can point to, the easier it is to build that fame. So.
Yeah, because I mean, it can definitely be a little discouraging when, you've been going at it for a month and maybe you don't see the results you're wanting to see, or maybe you don't see any at all. How do you, I mean, if you feel like it's been a month and they're still not seeing the results they want to, does that usually mean, they kind of need to switch a course of action? Or
I wouldn't say in a month. Maybe in 6 months.
Yeah.
Results.
Yeah.
But in a month. So, I mean, I think I gave this example last show actually, but I'll do it again because it's topical. The ice cube example, right?
Yeah.
It starts melting at 32 degrees, but from 20 degrees to 31 degrees, you're really not seeing any results. You're not seeing any progress, right? But you're certainly making progress. So just stick with it a little longer, right? And then you'll start to see that melt. I just like the ice cube example because the melting body fat, melting weight, so it works.
No, yeah, that's definitely a good thing. That's kind of one reason I like cardio, is because I feel like when if you are gonna you're gonna run a mile, you can see, okay, if I run a mile one time a day, you'll probably see your mile time go down.
Oh, certainly, yeah,
pretty soon, really. I mean, it's not like you have to run for a month before you see progress. Like after not even maybe a week, you'll probably see your mile time go down.
Yeah. If you keep track, you'll certainly see progress. So that's just how many ways can you find a progress point, right? Whether it's running times, like you just mentioned, whether it's benching, maybe, I don't know, it's jumping really far. Maybe it's doing a pull up, right?
Pull-ups are hard.
Pull-ups are hard. Yeah, I get a lot of people like, I just want to do a pull-up. It's like,
I wish I could do.
Oh my gosh, I was watching and this is good because I can't remember the movie, but I remember movie lines and quotes, but I don't remember the movie name, right? So this guy is like, it was a personal training movie, and it was, gosh, that girl from How I Met Your Mother, Robin, she's like the main personal trainer in it, right? She's like, hey, what's your goal? He's like, oh, I just want to take a punch. I don't know how you do analytics on that, but it was.
No one's ever came into you and said.
No one's ever said that. I just want to know how to take a punch.
Interesting. I mean, what would you do to help prepare them?
I would say, I think you're in the wrong gym. I think you need to go to the UFC spot. Find one.
That's a good one. Well, we got to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get some more questions in here with Robert. Right here on the Movement Hour, right here on 93.7 The Ticket, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, you wanted more sweet and spice in your life, and now you've got it. At Wings and Rings, their brand new Hot Honey has all of Lincoln buzzing. Try their one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand new Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich or their Hot Honey Shrimp and Slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional, boneless, or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. Hot Honey was supposed to be gone on April 1st, but they're extending it indefinitely. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of their 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Coleman Construction is a high-end custom home builder serving the city of Lincoln, Lancaster County, Seward County, and beyond. Through their decades of design-build expertise, they are available for detailed planning and custom building, additions, and remodels for your dream home. Coleman Construction listens to your ideas and works with you to develop a floor plan, budget, and project management approach. Contact Coleman Construction at 402-643-5654 to discuss your vision for a beautiful home and let them bring it to life.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new complete post-workout recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome back into the Movement Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Still joined here by Robert Coleman.
Hello.
We were just talking about chess over the break and how people don't like playing with me because of the way I play.
Yeah, what's funny, we're a sports/fitness show. Start talking about chess, I'm in, right? So we both play though, so that's good.
Yeah, see, we're gonna have to play each other in chess at some point.
I mean, maybe we could play during the show one of these days. That would be
Is an hour
riveting.
long enough?
I don't know. Well, actually, yeah, you just got to get a timer. No, but the way you play, you like to go piece for piece, huh?
I like trading. I don't overly think so. I think we could get if we get going. Yeah, we'll have a whole show of just the camera on our chessboard, just playing chess.
You told me you don't like Endgame.
No, I'm not good at it. Not that I don't like it. I'm just not good.
You got to work on that middle game. Makes end game way easier.
I know. Yeah. It's just like I always have such a hard time getting the king like checkmate. You know what I mean? It's just like there's always one place he can go. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, no, I play daily, so I just do my online chess, and it's just it's a thing that I enjoy. It keeps me sharp.
You'd probably win if we'd play chess. I haven't played it in.
Well, it's a game of anticipation, right? So the more you play, the more you see, and that's where the experience comes in. So sometimes the person who maybe they're not as smart, but they've played more chess, they're still going to win. And I say not as smart because I'm just going to pretend you're smarter than me. And then if not, but I've played more, so I might have an advantage. So
we'll have to see. We're going to have to play at some point. Before we get into it, the show's sponsor, Coleman Construction, where they build your dreams through custom home building. Learn more at colemanconstruction.com or call 402-643-5654 today. And then if you guys, the text line is open. If you want to ask any questions throughout the show, it is open. Text line 402-464-5685. So with that, and now that, we got our chess talk in.
Yes.
Because we had to get that in.
Yes.
Let's now go back into our discussion. So spot reduction.
Yes.
What do
Big
you
topic.
mean? What do you mean when someone says spot reduction? What does that mean?
Yeah. So, well, the question is spot reduction real? Really is, Rob, if somebody comes in, Rob, how do I lose body fat in this specific spot? Rather like point to their stomach. I just want to lose body fat on my abs. So give me 1,000 crunches, right? They just want to do ab workouts in order to lose body fat on their abs. Unfortunately, that is a myth. That's not how that's supposed to work. I guess my favorite example is nobody really chooses where their body fat congregates in the first place. You can't actually choose where it comes off either. So it's pretty much going to be in the same spot usually. But I would say that the best way to, have you ever thought about that? Like, hey, I'm not liking the way this looks. Let's just do that muscle.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that, especially, stomach, because that's usually like the first thing someone thinks of. And yeah, everyone's just like ab workouts would do that.
Which coincidentally is where most of the body fat's going to go, right? You're going to look at your hips, your legs, your stomach. That's typically what you're going to see
sometimes
first.
Arms.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah. But usually that's later on, right? So it's like, I've had enough of the stomach. Let's go to the arms, So
yeah.
if body fat had a mind of its own. So, but no, yeah, the spot reduction. So the solution to that is doing body fat reducing style training, right? So it will go away where it's most congregated for sure. So if that is your stomach, let's do some resistance training where let's do some squats, right? That's actually going to be better for losing body fat around your abs than doing ab workouts,
which is interesting.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but it is the one of the better ways to lose body fat is resistance training. And when it comes to spot reduction, and I am going to do another segment on this as well, which is like, what are the best ways for losing body fat? So there are so many ways. There are certainly better ways than others, but I think that's like a 20-minute conversation at least. So we'll have to get into that one here easily next week when we talk about nutrition as well. But I think the biggest thing is when you're talking spot reduction, just know that that's not a real thing. Can't do it. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. I wish it was, but yeah, probably a good thing actually, because if you did spot reduction, I imagine you just want to do one thing all the time.
Yeah, which isn't good.
No,
you don't want to do just one lift the entire time, because then you'll tire that muscle out or whatever you're working.
They get boring.
They get boring.
Yeah. Why would I think of that? Why would I stay? And I guess unless it's working, but it's not going to work. So
yeah.
So
we're just that part of it.
That's going to be a negative spiral all the way through.
Do you feel like people can sometimes get too, I don't know what the word is, like too concerned about, percentages and everything and numbers when it comes to like trying to get that body fat reduction? Do you feel like they can get too, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like too interested. It's not interested.
Too concerned with
too concerned, I think is what I'm saying.
Well, it depends on the mindset, right? So, if that's your concern, that's not holding you back. If, let's say you're not seeing the result you want too quick enough, I would not recommend that being the thing you focus on as if it's going to keep you from exercise. I think there's one thing we can all agree on, whether we do it or not. Exercise is good for you. right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is something that you should do. If you're not seeing those results, I mean, you're certainly serving your body better being in the gym than even if you're not doing the most effective thing for you. It's better than the alternative, which is probably sitting on the couch, right? So
Hey man, I always love a good day when I'm just sitting on the couch.
it's a good day, but but it, you know, it could also be detrimental to some health if we do it too much, right? So
Yeah.
it's but yeah, I'm with you. That's what the weekends are for. During the week, let's work out.
Yeah. So for your programs, you know, body fat reduction, how many for your program, how many times a week do people usually work out in your program?
Well, every client is different. Remember when we were talking about accountability? Can they afford it? Right. The frequency is adjusting.
part of that,
right.
yeah.
So the frequency, there are a few things. Time and cost are the two main determiners of what people want to do from accountability standpoint. But I would also say one important thing is, do they like you? Right. So when you want to talk about accountability and frequencies, your question, like they gotta like you too. You know, if you're a jerk trainer, so like for me, for example, now I can wake up in the morning if I have to. I won't like it, but at 5 a.m. I can still put a smile on my face. Not everybody can.
Yeah.
Right. Some people are just mean in the morning. Those are not the personal trainers you want working at 5 a.m.
No.
So I used to do it all the time. Gosh, I would have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. every single day, and I would take a train down to another part of the city. A train, yeah, or a subway, right? So like I'm taking the subway in New York. So that's funny. Yeah, I didn't have a car for 4 years, so I say a train. But yeah, no, I would have to get up at 4:30 a.m. every single day, right? And my first session was at 6 a.m. I put on a smiley face. I did that for years, and you know, I graduated from that. I'm done. I'm not going to do it again. So I'll hire the other people to do that because, yeah, I mean, you can be very likable at 5 a.m. It's just another good way to put it. Are you a social chameleon? I guess, right? So like you're going to deal with a lot of different personalities, and personal trainers, what makes them great, going back to that, is being able to speak with a ton of different people and just being good at connecting with all personalities. So it's hard to do if you really get too varied, but it's a skill that you should work on.
Yeah, definitely. So as a personal trainer, obviously you're not the only one in Lincoln. So when you're doing with competition, do you look and like care about what other people are doing too much, or do you kind of just focus on yourself and don't really worry about others as much?
Yeah, that's a good question because so one other, I'm going to add to this list. Okay, that question's making me think a little bit. If you are watching another personal trainer work with a client, the last thing you want to do is say, I wouldn't do that. That's a silly movement. That's not how that should look. It's not really what you should do, right? The person that personal, you didn't do that assessment on that client, right? That personal trainer did. So they know what that person should be doing. I used to think like that actually early on. I was like, gosh, I would never do that. But why are you doing that to your client? But when you really look back, it's, well, actually, I did not evaluate that person. I don't know how they move. I don't know what's going on in their hips and their spine. Like that's an evaluation that a personal trainer does. Now, they're not allowed to diagnose anything, because they're not doctors, but they can still check movement patterns and see how and what you should correct, right? If I see a knee collapsing, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do in terms of, I guess, a strength prescription. So it's like, yeah, I keep saying prescription. I feel like I'm a pharmacist or something. like here's your prescription. It's like, yes, I'm an exercise prescriptionist. But yeah, that's just what it is. So I think that's important. Don't be a personal trainer who looks at other personal trainers and say, that's wrong, I'm going to do it this way. You don't know. You haven't worked with that client.
Did you used to worry about other competition more back in the day?
Yeah. I mean, with experience, you worry about stuff like that less. Like, what is that personal trainer thinking about what I am doing? Am I looking good in other people's eyes? Right. But you have an education as a personal trainer. You have worked with that client. There's no better authority outside of you in that moment when nobody else has worked with that client. So if anyone is thinking, no, that's wrong, I wouldn't do that, they're probably in that newbie boat that I'm describing, right? They're kind of new to training themselves, maybe. Like you're not going to see a lot of very experienced trainers unless something's really weird, you know. You got to get real weird in order to get me to think that. You got to get extremely strange with your workouts. I can't even think of a movement right now that I would do, but I'm sure they probably exist. But that's going to be that has to be a massive change from the norm, I would say.
Well, yeah. Speaking of the norm, like, what are some things in your program that you feel like you do that not many other people do? That's like original and why people want to go to you.
It was funny. I'm going to get made fun of this at the gym for this because I do a thing called Animal Flow. So yeah, it's a literal certification that I have. It's called Animal Flow. Yeah.
Wow.
So, man, I keep bringing up New York because of these stories here, but yeah, it's a crazy place. You get a lot of stories out of New York, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Mike Finch is the guy who invented this, right? And I was actually in like the second group of certifiers. So like the inventor of Animal Flow actually certified me in New York at this Equinox club that I was working out of. And basically it's just animal movements, but also doing body weight training. So it's he combines a ton of different things like wrestling, capoeira, animal movements, yoga. There's just so many different ideologies that he put into one thing, and he named it Animal Flow, right? So no, my clients don't all do Animal Flow, but some of them know, like, hey, if I want to do calisthenics and body weight stuff, I'm gonna go say hi to Rob. Also, I was a gymnast, so it helps, right? I was a gymnast growing up from like 4 years old to 14 years old, right?
Really?
So I did a lot of, it was national competitor gymnastics. I did 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. And I say national competitor, that doesn't mean I was really good. I just happened to compete in that I did a lot, right? So yeah, I didn't win any of those national competitions, but I was in them, right?
Hey, you were there.
I was
Your
there.
name was on the roster.
It was there. Yeah, I've been around. So yeah, that's one of the most unique things that I probably do that not a lot of people around here have. It's actually getting more popular, which is why I like to say I was like one of the first people who was certified in that, because when it was brand new, just being invented, that was by a guy who worked out of Equinox in New York City, where I happened to be. So complete random happenstance, but yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. I've never heard of that.
Not a lot of people have. There might be a lot of personal trainers around. Maybe they're listening to this. Like, oh, I've heard of Animal Flow. That's cool, Rob. Well, let's get together, do some Animal Flow.
So, like, what are some different like workouts through animal? I mean, I'm just like curious because I've never even heard of this. Like, what does it even look like?
Yeah, have you ever done a crab walk?
Okay.
All right. So like you could be in a crab position, for example, like your feet and your hands are on the ground, and your glutes are off the ground, right? But like 1 inch. Right. And then like you can do what's called an under switch. So you lift one hand and one arm, then you flip it over to what's called a beast position. And again, it's the weirdest names, right? And you can do like walks, but you have to go right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. You can't do right and left at the same time. So like there's never an instance where you can like move the same two sides of your body. It has to be the opposites at every single time. Then you go into things like scorpions. There's things called traveling ape. So if you've ever seen a gorilla walk, or a baboon, or I don't know which one, let's go with an ape, right? Like they're walking on their knuckles and they're kind of going sideways.
Yeah, like gorilla. Yeah.
Right? Like a gorilla, right? So like there's actual movements for that. But like the idea behind that, I'm sure, and Mike, the inventors of this mind, was, I mean, that's a lot of body control, right? So it's really the purpose of this is to just control your body and do things in a way that now you do not need Animal Flow to do exercises to control your body and just to learn that type of exercise. But calisthenics, there's so many options for calisthenics, right? There's a ton of calisthenics in CrossFit,
It's just a different way.
Right. Yeah. So it just depends on what you want. But if you want to do some bodyweight stuff, then yeah, you come to me. I'll show you a lot of cool things.
Man, that's I've never heard that. So that's really interesting. We're going to throw it to break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show on the last segment right here on the Movement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coleman Construction is a high-end custom home builder serving the city of Lincoln, Lancaster County, Seward County, and beyond. Through their decades of design-build expertise, they are available for detailed planning and custom building, additions, and remodels for your dream home. Coleman Construction listens to your ideas and works with you to develop a floor plan, budget, and project management approach. Contact Coleman Construction at 402-643-5654 to discuss your vision for a beautiful home and let them bring it to life.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
The Double the Savings sales event is happening now through April 22nd at Bonsall Pool and Spa. During this event, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings and receive 0% APR for 60 months. Visit the Bonsall Pool and Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at bonsallpool.com to learn more about their hot tub sale. Act fast because this offer ends soon. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 14th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce bacon wrapped sirloins for $3.99 each, USDA Choice Tri-Tip for $9.99 per pound, 1 dozen large eggs for $1.98 when you purchase 2, and 24 packs of Miller Lite or Coors Light for $15.99 with the purchase of 2. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One last segment on the Movement Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben and Robert still with you for about 10 more minutes.
A few minutes.
Give or take. So, a lot of fitness talk. Because, well, this is a show where we're going to talk about fitness. So 100%. That makes sense. But we're going to end on sports talk because, you know, this is a sports radio station. We're both interested.
And I got opinions.
And he has opinions, especially on soccer, Premier League.
Yes. Yeah. We'll call this Rob's unpopular sports opinion just because we live in Lincoln, America. So, yeah. I was watching the Champions League over the weekend. Do you ever watch that?
A little bit.
Yeah, so it was Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, right? And of course, I'm a massive Arsenal fan, right? So if I could like have a wish come true, sports in America, like it would be the number one sport, right? Like so this is going to cost me listeners, I think, right? Because who
love
likes
soccer.
Okay, good.
I love soccer.
But I was watching, and I wanted to say the unpopular opinion is that soccer is like 162 times better than baseball. Right?
Oh no, it's so much better.
Yeah, and I say
I'm
162 very much on purpose because that's how many games there are. So, how many people watch baseball? I've asked the question, "Hey, did you know the season started?" It's like, "Oh, really? No way," because there's just way too many games. It does not matter.
It's like a worse version, of NBA. Like NBA has like 82 games, and people think that's like too much.
All right,
they have
so
160.
Well, here's my soccer thing then. So like every single the complaints I hear about soccer, right, is there is not enough goals. Rob, the game can end 1-0, right? So, but that is like all the proof I need that it's the most rewarding and devastating point in sports, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know if you, especially if a team, you said you like World Cup, I think
Yeah.
is something you brought up, right? So like how intense are you like when no goal is being scored, but who was it that we played? I think it was the Netherlands at the end where when we like got knocked out, right?
Mhm.
But every single moment when like there's those almost goals, you're like on the edge of your seat,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like I can't
yeah.
handle what might happen because if it does go in, that's devastating, right? When it's basketball, when it's baseball, those by the way, I love basketball, but like the point I'm trying to make here is like you miss a bucket, I'll get the next one, right? It's not like, oh no, it might not happen again this game, right? So like every moment, it's pretty crazy. But
That's why I like soccer too.
well, yeah, I mean, do you ever notice how it's actually a contact sport?
Oh yeah, it's honestly like it's so physical. Like football, obviously football is the most physical sport, but
Yeah.
everyone is you're wearing pads, you have a helmet.
Yeah. Well, football, hockey, those are I respect both sports
I forgot
100%,
about
right?
hockey, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very very physical.
But
right? And
soccer,
that's
you
cool.
get shin guards.
Yes. Well, okay. Have you ever busted your ankle on like on a coffee table or something, and it's like it hurts, right? So the complaint that I also hear a lot is like, well, yeah, they're all just flopping, they're falling over and they're rolling around the ground for so
Have they
long. It's like
watch basketball?
well, yeah, good point. But they're like, hey, why is that dude still on the ground? If you had your ankle hacked before, like that hurts. Like you can't really see it on TV in that fast action too, right? Like you get your foot stepped down by a cleat. That's kill. They're all stingers, right? So like they're rolling around. Now, sure, flopping exists in every sport, right? But yeah, the complaints soccer gets on the flopping rule, I just don't get it. It's a contact sport. Those guys are running full speed, getting kicked in the ankle.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously some people that flop more than others, and the famous name is Neymar. Neymar, a lot of people thought he was a big flopper, but
I mean,
it's,
people say the same thing about LeBron James. So what do you do?
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the only sport you don't flop in is football, because if you flop, you go on the ground, you're tackled.
Yeah, it's not in your interest.
It's not in your interest to go to the ground. You have to stay up on the ground. So I feel like the biggest complaint I hear about soccer is that they just don't find it exciting. Like they don't find one goal being exciting. But I think that's more exciting than watching a basketball game where the score is 130 to 120.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see how many baskets go in. What's the reward? But it's just I just think that if you do feel that way, I'm sorry for you.
I'm sorry. I mean, I love basketball. I love football, but like soccer is up there in my top 3. I love like soccer. The anticipation, especially like this last World Cup, that was one of the best soccer games I've ever watched. The fact that Argentina, they were up by 2 goals. France comes back. Like,
oh, you mean the final?
Like the very final one, even.
Yeah.
Like that was the best soccer. It was one of the best World Cup.
Well, you had 2 of the best players in the world in that game too.
Yeah, it's
Lionel Messi's probably he's probably passed the baton of best player in the world to Kylian Mbappe at this point, who plays for France, right? And he's the one who scored those goals to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
So you had the star power. You had the drama because they had to go into extra time,
and
right?
Goalies made crazy saves.
Yeah,
some of the saves those goalies made, it's just like unreal.
Yeah, my family also, if any of them ever listen to these shows, they always know like how much I talk crap on baseball. Like,
I honestly don't find baseball that enjoyable.
I respect the sport 100%. So my issue is not with it's bad, or I think that I respect a guy being able to throw a ball 100 miles per hour, and a guy being able to hit that ball back, right? Like that and hit a home run. Like this is not like hate on baseball in terms of like it's just not. I find it to be tag for adults personally, but like it's still respectable. Like what you have to be able to do to play that sport. That's not the argument at all. I'm just saying it's not as fun as soccer. So that's always been my position, and I have that debate with my family all the time. But now I have a mic and they're stuck listening.
Yeah,
so.
no one can talk back to you unless somebody texts in and says something else. We got text on text. So do have someone text
already?
On. Yeah. So as a former collegiate soccer player, flopping is real in the game and it's ridiculous.
Of course, flopping happens. I'm not suggesting it doesn't, but as a former collegiate soccer player, I'm sure you've been kicked in the ankle and it hurts. Right. So I've played soccer too. Like I didn't play collegiately, but I know what it feels like. It's a bummer. It does get ridiculous. Of course, every sport. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, but I mean to say that happens in soccer exclusively, and that's the one that gets the main complaint. I think that's silly to me.
I feel like basketball and soccer are probably those two.
Right.
But like I love both.
I mean, they're literally thinking about making rules for. Not think about they have like fouls for flopping like in other sports.
In the NBA, they added it. If they call you for flop, it's a technical.
Right.
So you get a free they basically get free
there you go.
Free point. It's just
right?
like and it's how something that but then that brings up that wasn't a flop.
Well, why create that rule if it wasn't a problem? So like quit picking on soccer is my only point. Like it's not the only sport where flopping exists.
Yeah. It definitely exists in other sports.
Yeah.
But did you fill out a March Madness bracket for basketball?
This year I didn't. I forgot to do. I was too late.
How did you forget to fill out a bracket?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not popular enough. I didn't have enough people to invite me to brackets. Maybe, I didn't know you soon enough, I guess.
Man, but
did
even
you?
Still, yeah.
Okay, how'd that go?
I got UConn winning. I got that right. Because I was boring and just picked UConn, but it was right.
Well, that's good.
So, I mean, I got like first in like two of my pools and like second in a couple others, but
yeah,
my beginning was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, I mean that's it for bracket. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure you are more likely to win the lottery twice than to get a perfect bracket.
That sounds pretty bad odds. I don't know if I can.
I'm pretty sure you have a better chance to win the lottery 2 times in your lifetime than to get a perfect bracket.
Well, if I can win a bracket one of these days, it'll be like a $10 buy-in. So that'll be my lottery, right?
That'll be a huge payday for you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to make this a normal thing. We got text when I make unpopular sports opinions, so I think I'm gonna have to do this more often.
Hey, man, I agree with you on popular sports opinion though. I agree with it. Soccer, it's one of the fastest growing sports in America. And
our USA team now, I think it's pretty undeniable, is the most talented that it's ever been.
I'm so excited for this upcoming World Cup. I'm so excited. I really think USA can go pretty far.
I hope so. We'll see. I mean, they're definitely more talented, like in comparison to other USA teams. There's been great teams. I'm not saying they're the greatest team yet, right? I think they can be though. I think the talent on that team will help grow the sport in the United States. I think that the better they do, the more popular the sport becomes. So
yeah, because it's just like America just dominates like every sport, it seems like, but soccer.
Well, so many athletes fall through the cracks, right? Who wants to play soccer if you can make millions in football, basketball, baseball, like all these other sports, right? So other countries, no one's falling through the cracks. Soccer, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So they have that
Soccer's
advantage
like
over
everything.
us. Imagine LeBron James playing goalie. I mean, that dude's massive, and he's got reflexes and athleticism for days like that. I mean, we're just losing him to basketball, right? I don't know. So
maybe
I'm not saying he'd be a good goal. I'm just throwing out a famous athlete. I don't know, but yeah, we're losing athletes to other sports for sure. So
I wish soccer got a little bit more recognition for how fun it is to watch, but some people just don't like watching soccer because they want to see football.
Points.
They want to see points.
We got to work on the MLS.
That's the big thing is I will agree MLS is not that great.
Yeah,
it's okay, but like if you want to watch good soccer, you have to watch Premier League or Champions League.
Physical, it's good stuff.
They're so talented. But with that, we got to wrap things up on the Movement Hour.
That flew.
We'll be right back here next week, and you're gonna have a guest on.
We got guests, yeah. So
we're not going to give any spoilers.
No.
You're gonna have to tune in next week to know who the guest is. But until then, we'll see you next week right here, Moving Hours, same time, 10 to 11. See you next week.
Have a great week.
Coleman Construction is a high-end custom home builder serving the city of Lincoln, Lancaster County, Seward County, and beyond. Through their decades of design-build expertise, they are available for detailed planning and custom building, additions, and remodels for your dream home. Coleman Construction listens to your ideas and works with you to develop a floor plan, budget, and project management approach. Contact Coleman Construction at 402-643-5654 to discuss your vision for a beautiful home and let them bring it to life.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations,